Alright, now for the second video of a total of 3 in a row. Actually, I've been doing it since the 30th, I think. But in terms of filming, I think it'll be 3 days in a row. Could be wrong. I don't think I uploaded anything. I did not upload anything on Friday. Or record anything on Friday. I did upload, yes. Record, no. So let's get right into it. These are all the comics I'll be reading this month. Now, those of you who've been on the channel for long enough know that I like to add some comics in my PC to the pile, and they're all from the same publisher, all Image Comics. It's the way I've been doing it recently with the comics in my PC, because at the end of the year, if I'm up to it, because it's a lot of comics I'll be taking out of the shelf, I will do every single Image comic I read this year. Now, it is only trades. If I read floppies that are Image, I don't include those. Maybe I'll do a quick review of them. If I have like a day where I don't have it, I should start doing this too. But if there's a week where I have nothing to upload on Wednesday, other than a comic review of 2 books, maybe I'll add some of the Image floppies to some of the floppies I've been reading. But I like to do the trades and trades only. Now on Instagram, that's different. Instagram, I review any and every comic I've been reading. I don't have any exclusivities. It's if I read a comic series, like if it's a 5-issue miniseries in floppy form, it's getting a review on eBay. It's getting a review on Instagram when I finish it. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. First up is Hello Sunshine. This is written by Keezy Young, and it looks like it's illustrated by her too. This is one that I just picked up off a whim. I saw it at the library. It was, I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. So it was, so my library, their catalog, you can order it by, not order it, because that's such a, you order the book and then you order it. That's kind of confusing to say the same word for 2 things. You can filter it by release date. So it can be added in the last month, added in the last week, on order, and in processing. And I do on order and in processing, just in case. Maybe there's a Marvel comic series that I didn't know they'd ever get, and I find it and I can order it, and then it'll come in when it's ready. Because it's usually 9 times out of 10 it's been other libraries, so sometimes I can't because it's just too early, because they want the patrons from that library to be able to read it before they ship it out to me. But this book was pretty quick. Usually keep in mind what library this was, because that was kind of nice. Okay. Yeah, don't know much about this one. I looked at the brief plot synopsis, but nothing much that I know about it. I'm saying guys, I'm saying Now this, you'll soon see. So I got this one earlier, and I wasn't like, so the Image books. This pile would be the Image Comics writers pile, where every single comic that I am reading, I show off, is written by someone who's done work for Image. This is not the case with Hello Sunshine. I usually like to put it in different piles, so this would be in the miscellaneous writers pile, where it's just like a Tom Taylor. He's done nothing for Image. I don't think Keezy Young, actually no, Keezy Young has done anything for Image. I think it's their first work ever. She's a new writer. So the same thing with Keezy Young. But this one came in when it came in. I'm not gonna put it away when they went through all that trouble to get it for me. I'm going to definitely read this before the due date, and it doesn't matter if it's what pile it's part of. I've been doing that recently too. Like if a book comes in early and I was like, oh well, I didn't expect that one to come in, but I had it part of the miscellaneous pile and it's an Image Comics writer's book. Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna read it when I want to read it, that kind of thing. But for the most part, that's what it was. That's what it is. Will always be. Maybe 2 or 3 books will not be part of that exclusive pile. But there you go. And you'll soon see, like, one of these is co-authored by it will be like co-author. Like one writer is like, yeah, Jeremy Hole, he's done books for Image, and then it will be Philip Kennedy Johnson. So he's done nothing for Image. All right. Next up is Glitch by Sarah Graley. So Sarah Graley has recently did something for Image called Pizza Witch. So did I get Glitch? Sarah Graley seems to be that writer that has a type, and it's all that like kind of cutesy, kind of sort of Rick and Morty kind of artwork to it. I've not seen Rick and Morty, so I can't say, oh yeah, it's Rick and Morty, but I've seen clips, so and I know the kind of humor that Rick and Morty goes for because it's been memed to death. So I could say, yeah, the humor here is very Rick and Morty. I can say this writer would be really good writing for Rick and Morty. Again, it's the bare minimum that I know, but even then, I can safely say that that's the case. Kind of like how people can say they could write for Sesame Street, and they haven't seen Sesame Street in a while, or I don't know. I don't know why I thought exclusively Sesame Street, but that's what I said. But this one, I haven't been super in love with anything Sarah Graley has written. I liked the one that she did was Kim Reaper. I wasn't like super in love with that. I like it enough. It's nice. Like, oh, the library has it. I get it for free. And then Pizza Witch was just like, you know what? Might as well get it. It's a fairly priced book. It was a thick book too. It was like over 300 pages, or I think it was almost 300 pages. And yeah, it was digest size like this book is, but it was $16.99. That's a pretty fair priced book, and it was also part of the Image Comics Skybound Comet line, which other than Lego Ninjago, I've been trying to collect those as they come out because I really do like those Image Comics Skybound comic books. Like Scurry was really good, Family Force 5 was really good, Everyday Hero Machine Boy was okay. So it's not everything is gold, and I know, not everything is going to be as good as Scurry, and I know that. Just how like every Image book is not going to be as good as Paper Girls or Wicked and the Divine. But yeah, Glitch. Meat Eaters. This one snuck up on me. I don't even know. I guess I was doing the same thing because it's a new book, filtering it by release date, and I found this one. But this is written by and drawn by Meredith McLaren, who was a name that I never think to look up her other work because I don't know why. She did. Gotta stop saying. She did the artwork for not Black Cloud, but the other one that's black something. It's black. What's the other? It's the Kelly Thompson series that she did that Kelly Thompson did for Image, 11 issues. It's not Black Cloud. I don't know, but it's that series she did the artwork for. She did her own series that was a graphic novel adaptation, but they just put it into graphic novel format for a web comic series. I can't remember the name of right now. So I've known of her work, but it just her name has never been on my radar, which is kind of funny to think about, but that's the way it is. So this one did completely almost sneak up on me. This one almost completely did sneak up on me, and I am very excited to read this one. It looks crazy. It looks like my kind of book. Yes, I kind of do feel like, yes, if I had no plans on October 31st, I probably would have read this on October 31st for Halloween. But I had shit to do. Which I didn't mind at all. Pride of Baghdad. This was the book I was talking about when I was showing off Spectators. It was the same creative team of Brian K. Vaughan and Nico Hendrickson. I've read this one before, absolutely loved it, and I think it's probably my second favorite Brian K. Vaughan work that he's done. No, wait, third favorite, because it goes Paper Girls, Runaways, this, and then probably Y the Last Man after that, and the fifth one is I haven't finished it yet, but maybe Ex Machina. So even for Runaways, yeah, I've not finished all of his run on Runaways in general, but I have read the first series, the first 18 issues. That was like a whole huge arc. In fact, afterwards, people were afraid that he was going to be off the book for a long time, and I almost want to say for the longest time it wasn't a guarantee if he was coming back to the series, like if it's gonna get canceled or maybe someone else is gonna come on. But I don't know. This is a huge outcry for it, how much everyone loves Runaways. But anyways, Pride of Baghdad. This is another one. This is actually this one you saw before. It was the Walking Man book. Just didn't get around to finishing it in time for any of the comic reviews that have come out last month. That came out last month. I still have it. It's a quick read though. I'll probably knock this one out. I can't do it tonight because I still got to finish up. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I still got to finish up. I'm in the middle of reading this one, so I'm just going to show it off real quick. I have 2 more chapters of it left and then I'm done. But it's still read November, so I still count it as that. And that is Fierce, that book. So it's quick showing off of it. Let you guys know I might put that back. That's not a good idea. There you go. Then there's Walking Man. Yeah, Walking Man. For those of you who don't know, like why I got it, it wasn't a recent release kind of thing. Filtering it by that. It was actually on Near Mint Conditions live stream. Every now and then I will hop in for like at most 5 minutes. That's what my people do to my live streams too. So I do the same thing in Near Mint Condition, and I do like doing that because sometimes you'll get in there and you'll be like, get in there. Sometimes you'll hop in and there'll be like a really nice conversation and you'll contribute to it. I've actually made posts on Instagram where my question has garnered a bunch of responses and it's like a big huge conversation. When I asked, it's pretty obvious too. That's obviously that's going to happen. But I was asking Omar what his first comic was that he ever read, and then other people added to the conversation saying what their first comics they read was, because I had said the same thing too. And for those of you who want to know, it's Simpsons Illustrated #1. I don't include the SpongeBob book I read because I was in a SpongeBob, so it's just Simpsons Illustrated #1. Because the SpongeBob comic I read back when I was in elementary school, and after that I didn't read like any comics besides comic strips like Peanuts, whatever, until Simpsons Illustrated #1 in 8th grade, and since then I've not looked back. And that was thanks to my study hall teacher, who I actually work with now. Kind of a nice 360. And no, she does not remember. I do keep meaning to mention it though, to them. All right, so Graveyard Wars, A.J. Lieberman. This one I read before. I liked it. Wasn't super crazy about it, but I liked it enough. I think I liked it better the second time around than I did the first. But A.J. Lieberman is one of those writers that, again, not on my radar 99% of the time like most other authors are, but because of his most recent Image Comics miniseries, The Hive, I was in, obviously he was on my mind again. I put Graveyard Wars in again. And also the library does not have a whole lot of A.J. Lieberman's work. They just have this and a kitty book he did that I should check out. But when I did, which is kind of funny, is I was interested and I was checking it out, and when they got it, they both fell apart, so I had to give it back to the library, and I never got to read it. It never got checked out to me. It's kind of ironic. And it was a kitty book too, so yes, it's very much ironic too that that's the one I happened with out of all the books I ordered that time. I thought there was something I had to mention, and I forgot to mention it. And I'm like, no, there wasn't. I don't know why I feel that way. Anyways, Alex DeCampi's Bad Girls. This one I want to... So, rereads fall under 3 criteria. Obviously, for Pride of Baghdad, I'm rereading it because I like it so much. And Graveyard Wars, yeah, that kind of, like... Liked it so much does not necessarily mean every single reread in that category is a 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, like, Pride of Baghdad might just be... Or, like, Paper Girls, or... Wicked and Divine, I finally get back down to rereading that series, and so on and so forth. The Preacher. No, I like this book, and it's on my mind, right, thinking of it, like, oh, let's add that book to the pile, or I see it in the local library, like, oh yeah, let's read that one again. So that, it's just, I want to reread it again. I call it the every 6 month rule, because it's on average, every 6 months, you'll see, like, maybe 6 months from now, you'll see Graveyard Wars again, or Pride of Baghdad again. So that's how I do that. Second one is for Bad Girls. I wasn't super crazy about this series, like less so than I was about Graveyard Wars. Like Graveyard Wars, the first time I read it, I probably gave like a 6 out of 10. This thing I gave like a 5 out of 10, maybe even lower. I thought it was kind of strange, and of course we got Bacon up, don't we? Yep. All right. I don't know if I should. Nah. Today is so tight. We got so much going on today, so I kind of have to, like, I can't take a break from this, come back to it, do another whole cut of it, unless it dies on me. Not dies on me, but it crashes on me. Anyways, Bad Girls, Alex Acampy. Now, Alex Acampy, like I said before, I kind of hate to keep mention this, because it's, like, ad nauseum. It's, like, ad nauseum at this point, and it's, like, every single time I'm going to mention this, but it is a good thing to mention. Murdered Ed Piscor. She was the reason, one of the reasons that he committed suicide, so I consider that to be murder like everyone else does. So definitely separating the art from the artist for Alex Acampy. Like the best example of, well, not best, the worst example of separating the art from the artist. Like best or worst, however you want to look at it. Like best in the sense that, like, yeah, this is what separating art from the artist truly means, but worse in the sense of what she did. So rereading this one, I liked her work enough. You know, it's like nothing is above a 7 out of 10 for me. Kind of the same as is Sarah Gravely for me. Like I don't think anything that she has read will ever become above a 7 out of 10 for me. But even then, like I would still give more praise to a Sarah Gravely comic than I would an Alex Acampy comic, just because of what Sarah Gravely does and her writing style, and that whole cutesy comic thing, and I think that has an audience. Alex Acampy's work does too, obviously, but I feel like Sarah Gravely, like, more of an audience than Alex Acampy, but I could be talking about my ass here, so let's move on. White Death. This is this first Image book. Now this one is a reread because I do want to reread to redeem. Oh yeah, I didn't go over reread to redeem is the second one, like with White Death and Bad Girls. Third one, I don't think I have any of them that are this criteria, but reread to refresh. Technically, one of them is a reread to refresh. Actually be the next one that I show off, but it's because I bought it. Usually the reread to refresh is, like with Scalps. Library finally had volumes 9 and 10, so I had to finish Scalps once and for all. Because I read the first 8, in the hardcover format, so it was the first 5 oversized hardcovers. I collect 2 trade paperbacks and 1 oversized hardcover, but it was the first 8 trade paperbacks. Again, I couldn't do all the hardcovers, like all 5 hardcovers, unfortunately, so it's the first 4, and then had to put up with reading the standard size trades after that. Yes, White Death. It's written by Robbie Morrison. Now, I do like to mention who the writer is at the very least, so I'm going over the Image books. And actually, I haven't been doing that with these. Yes, I have been. In general, the Image Comics writers pile, I do go over who the writer is. It just adds to the theme more. The Miscellaneous Comics writers pile, if it's worth mentioning, I will. But sometimes these videos get long enough, so to cut corners where I feel necessary to cut corners, that's what I do, and that's why part of the reason why I don't mention the authors of the Miscellaneous Comics writers pile. And I just like to keep it uniform. Alright, now for the book that I said was technically a reread to refresh, and that is Jeremy Huon's and Jason A. Hurley's The Beauty. Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, Volume 1 I read all the way through, thanks to the local library. Like, local library had it, didn't have to internet or whatever. Like, a local library, home-based library had it. And I really liked it, and no other library had any of the volumes that came out after. So I had to buy it myself, and I was fine with doing that. But it was so long ago that part of me was like, if they ever get volumes 2 through 6, I'm going to be so pissed off, because I'm trying to save money here. And nowadays, I just don't care. Nowadays, I do, as part of my monthly comic hauls, I add at least 1 graphic novel that is, the library had it, I liked it so much, or it's just significant enough that I bought it myself. Like, you'll have Paper Girls. I love that series, so obviously I'm going to get that in my PC, especially especially if I'm being also a completist, trying to get everything Brian K. Vaughan did for Image. So that works out there. But then you'll have books like The Infinite Horizon by Jerry Duggan, which I wasn't a super huge fan of, but significant enough because it's just, when I am. So I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But then, like this past month, it was The Private Eye and Echolands. Yeah, it was widescreen comics, not a huge fan of that format of reading comics, but I still liked Echolands enough. Alright. And of course, Brian K. Vaughan getting Private Eye and Barrier was necessary too, in my opinion. Might as well at that point. Yeah, the beauty was really good. Like one of those captivating, unique kind of, like the high concept kind of storyline. I feel like it would be a better modern day movie than like an older movie. Like, how they do like these high concept films nowadays, like Knives Out or whatever, that kind of have a few twists and turns here, and it feels like it's a different kind of movie, but it's also a throwback. The beauty is not really a throwback. I can't tell you like, oh, it's like this movie or like that movie. Probably is, but I can't say for sure. Next one up is Jason Latour and Ivan Brandon's Black Cloud. So yes, it was not Black Cloud. That was the Kelly Thompson book that I was talking about earlier, clearly, because it's not written by Kelly Thompson. This series was one that I bought kind of off a whim. I was trying to get everything that Jason Latour had done for Image. This was one, but I was kind of skeptical. This goes to show us how long ago this was, because of the reviews on Goodreads. It was very low. But time will tell if it's really worthy of a 3 out of 10. I don't think... 3 out of 10. Sorry, 3 out of 5. If it's truly worthy of a 3 out of 5. I already don't think so, because I like Ivan Brandon's work and Jason Latour's work. So... And also Goodreads, I just seem to really disagree with nowadays, and in general. Not for I say for the most part, like half and half maybe at best. But anyways, Black Cloud. I don't even use Goodreads for reviews anymore. I'm like, oh, this book got a 4.5 out of 5 on Goodreads. I've got to read it now. Because then you have books like Newbie, a real one. And then you get really disappointed in life after reading that book. Because you realize that these people are going to... Okay. Honestly, nowadays, like, that's not the case anymore with comics. Like, nowadays, we seem to be in a new golden age for comics, which is awesome. The Empty Zone, written by Jason and drawn by Jason Sean Alexander. This one was a reread to redeem because I did not like it that much the first time. Now, I think I like this more than most of the books in the reread to redeem pile, but this one was more kind of like, this is almost like an asterisk, if you will, to the reread to redeem, because sometimes I do it because it was so confusing, or I need to... There's more... I feel like there's more I can understand with my next reading of the series. Try to get out that sun. Like, completely out of that sun. So it's not... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So yeah, Empty Zone Volumes 1 and 2. Like I said before. Actually, sorry. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Written drawn by Jason Sean Alexander. So... Yeah, it was just kind of confusing. Like, it was all over the place, but I still liked it now, because I honestly, most of what I liked about it was that it was very well paced. So I can always count on that one being like, oh, I only have like 10 minutes to kill, or I only have 20 minutes to kill. I read this one in like 10 to 15 minutes, have some time to spare afterwards. So that's kind of nice. Always rely on that kind of that book to do that. Or if I was trying to read 2 comics or 3 comics in 1 hour, Empty Zone would be that one I could read to get to that 3. Sweet number 3. Sweet spot. Not sweet number. Sweet spot. Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog, Volumes 1 and 2. Why this volume was Volume 1 and not this, I don't know. I hope it wasn't that. No, okay, good. This one is a spin-off. So this is written by Rodney Barnes. Also with artwork by Jason Sean Alexander, ironically enough. Now, this one was a spin-off to Philadelphia, and I like this one. But again, there were certain details I feel like, did I miss something? Why are we here? And I think a reread is required for this, for me to fully understand and fully review this series. And I do not mind doing that whatsoever. Also, the same month I read Empty Zone was when I read Anita Haw. Glitter Bomb. cannot wait to read this series. It's written by Jim Zub, who hasn't let me down yet, but he does also, little asterisk here, nothing he's read other than one series that I'm rereading this month, ironically enough, really blew me away. Like, his stuff is it's never gotten below a 6 out of 10, but it's like 7.5 out of 10. Like, above Alex Acampy, definitely, and Sarah Grayling, definitely, but not by a wide margin. Like, around, like, a little bit above A.J. Lieberman. It's like a 7.5 out of 10, I think, would be the lowest. Average for, not lowest. Lowest would be a 7 out of 10. But average, I would say, is like a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10 for his work. But you'll have books that'll speak up on you, like Murder World, I really liked, 8 out of 10. And of course, we'll soon be seeing a series here that I absolutely loved, that I would give like a 9 out of 10, like one of the best comics I've read of all time. Like 9.5, maybe even a 10 out of 10. But yeah, Glitterball, I'm hoping, is going to be the diamond in the rough. So volumes 1 and 2. And it's horror, so that's pretty cool. Yes, I probably should have remembered it. And done all that for last month. I couldn't afford that last month. Anyways, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show off the book I was just talking about. So, different order. Those ones there. Alright. So the series that I really loved by Jim Zub, that made me a fan, like automatically, like, it's one of those books that you read, you love it so much that he's always on your radar, and it's always like, oh, Jim Zub book. Okay, let's pick that up. Like Conan. Oh my god, I'm so excited to read that series just because of Jim Zub. And that is all because of Wayward. Now, if you've ever seen... Can I do this justice? Those posters you see right there, I can only show a little bit of it. Those posters are from Wayward. And each hardcover came with the poster, so that was really nice. So, it's pretty epic in my opinion. So Wayward, the hardcovers, volumes 1, 2, and 3. And the reason why I mentioned the hardcovers is because I had read it exclusively through my library, and they only have the softcovers. So first time I'm reading this in an oversized hardcover format. So that's another added bonus. But yeah, Wayward was just exceptional. Like, I cannot sing the praises enough of Jim Zub's Wayward. It's one of those books that made me a Jim Zub fan just by one series that I've read by the guy. He also did a series that like another fantasy series. I thought this is more supernatural than fantasy, but this is straight up fantasy, and this is Skull Kickers. That's kind of cool. He did a horror series for Image, supernatural, and then fantasy, like straight up fantasy. Because supernatural, you can argue is fantasy too. It definitely does have fantastical elements in it. But when I think of fantasy, I think of this. You know, olden times. It's like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, sword and sorcery kind of stuff. And I know fantasy can be more than that, obviously, but it's just one of those things. When I think of horror, I think of like haunted house, demon possession, that kind of stuff. It's very base when I'm thinking of it just off the top of my head. And of course, when I get into it, I'll get to movies like Hereditary, and I'm get like really down, and then we'll get to like the somewhat horror kind of thing, like the, you know what I mean, like the quasi horror where it's, yes, it's horror, but also this. And anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're getting too sidetracked. This is yet again read by Jim Zub. Yeah, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Now, you would assume that it would be like with Wayward, it'd be the same amount of issues per volume, so 30 issues total, like how it is with Wayward. This has 34. 35 if you include the one-shot floppy that came out just randomly in 2022. It was a 10 year anniversary, but they didn't do it for Wayward. They did it for Skull Kickers. I kind of found that kind of funny. And nothing else after that. It was just that one shot in. That's all they've done for Skull Kickers, and just the last thing that Jim Zub did for Image. So this one is 34 issues, which whatever. So the reason why it's kind of annoying is because I like to read these once a day. So it's, you know, Wayward's perfect. There's 30 days in the month of November, so I'm reading one issue per day, and it'll be from day 1 to day 30. It's the last day of the month. I'm finishing up Wayward. This I'll have to read two per for 5 days. I'll read 2 issues to get that finished for the 30th. And that's fine. I don't mind that. But it's definitely something I'm not technically used to. Alright, I'm going to stack these so I can put these to the side. And I'm going to put these. We're not done yet. A lot of books that I'm reading this month. And if you want to know how I'm going to be able to do this all in this month, well, I might not. The thing I'm trying to do above all else, however, is read the ones I can't renew. And what do I mean by that? Well, my library has 2 catalogs for putting in interloan books. ILL and the second one again. Second one I can't mention the name of because it would dox me. But the second one is the better ILL, because the better ILL I can just renew a book. So long as they will allow me to renew it, it's up to 3 times. Sometimes it's once, sometimes it's not at all. Like, recently, so I finally watched Superman last night, the James Gunn Superman, and that one I only have until the 13th of November. And sometimes you get, like, a week to, because it's such a high, like, everyone wants to read it, everyone wants to watch it, everyone wants to play it, whatever it is, it's so highly sought after that you only have a week to watch it, or a week to read it. Usually watch it, usually it's a movie. Like, Superman, I'm surprised I had 2 weeks and not 1. Even though I read it, even I watched, I guess I didn't read it. You know, I watched it last night. So, it doesn't really matter, so it could have been a week. Kind of wish it had been a week and I could replace it with another book, another movie that I'm trying to see if I can watch tonight. But, I don't know. But anyways. So, and then the other one, I have to email the library and just say, can you renew this book? And I want to try and avoid that this month. The last book you'll see here I can't do. You'll see why when I get to the last book here. But let's get on with it. Not as many rereads this time around. So the first one up is Strange Academy. It's a reread. This is a reread to refresh, actually, because it looks like they have the entire Strange Academy series at the local library. And yes, I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't have the hardcover for year 1. They have the hardcover for year 2, but not year 1. So for now, I'll have to read this in digest size, which is fine. And no, I don't know why they decided to do that. For this just randomly for Strange Academy, because Marvel does not usually do that. Usually it's like this. It's standard size trade paperback, as is in order for comics in general. Abbott, this is a reread to also refresh. I'm hoping they have the next all 3 volumes of this series so far. It's come out so far, but if they don't, they don't. This isn't one I was super crazy about. Oh, sorry. Strange Academy is written by Scotty Young. Abbott is written by Saladin Ahmed. And Saladin Ahmed is another writer I'm kind of like not super crazy about, in the sense that nothing I've read by him has been above a 7 out of 10. Star Signs, however, is probably the closest it's gotten. So Star Signs is definitely an 8 out of 10. So nothing, but again, on average, 10 out of 10 for Saladin Ahmed. But 8 out of 10 for Star Signs, just because, like, I end on a huge cliffhanger. It's like, I'm just getting really invested in this story. Now I'm stuck, you know? Because it got canceled. So you're literally stuck. It's not like, oh, the library just didn't have the next few volumes. They're here. The next few issues they're available. All you do is buy them. No, it got canceled. And canceled indefinitely, too. Very disappointed that happened. Brian Buccellato and Francis Manapul. Oh, this is just Brian Buccellato this time around. Patrick Zircher is the author, artist here. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was one that is just credited, just Brian Buccellato is credited for writing. I almost want to say that's the case here. So there's actually 6 volumes of his Flash run. Could be wrong, I don't know for sure. But Flash, Brian Buccellato, Volume 5. Reread, just for fun. You know, every 6 months or so, I'd say I get on Flash by Brian Buccellato. It is my favorite Flash run, like how Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello is my favorite Wonder Woman run. So usually I'm rereading them at the same time. In fact, I should have put in Wonder Woman Volume 7, but I didn't think to. Ooh. So what I did was, I did things a little bit differently this time around, or the last time around, and technically this time around. So I wonder if there was books I should be putting in, and I know Wonder Woman is one. So I'll put that in right now. Because I wonder if there's any others that I was like, oh, shit. All right, come on. Image Comics. I have so many different notes, so I'm like, which one's this one? I just sit there like a dope. Wonder Woman 7. Gotta add that to the list. Okay. Yeah, I have so many notes of lists. Like one of them is because I just can't remember. Some of them is the comics I read yesterday. I don't keep those. It's just the day of. So today, when I get the first 2 comics read, I'll start writing that down just so I can remember. That's the way I am. Literally my brain does not work to be. Moving on. Cable versus Deadpool. Cable and Deadpool Volume 2. I was trying to say my brain doesn't work, and I got it. I don't need to explain it anymore. Cable and Deadpool Volume 2. Love this series. Can't wait to reread it. Fabian Nicieza. Gotta remember to mention the writer. Immortal X-Men by Kieran Gillen. This is a reread to refresh, but also I wasn't super crazy about this series. It's a lot of what people don't like about X-Men in general, where it felt like you had to read everything at once. But this one's just kind of confusing. Like Jonathan Hickman's House of Powers of 10, it definitely is all over the place, and it's technically a bit of a mess too. But it's still good. There's still parts of this book I really, really dug, and all around I would say this was good. It was just a satisfying read. 1 Month to Live. This is written by Rick Remender, and this has been a long time since I've read it for the first time. Most of that was because it was looking like they didn't have this book anymore in any Interloan library didn't have it anymore, and I thought like, hey, maybe it's because it's been so long that it was before the pandemic, and I feel safe in saying that it's been that long. That's how long it's been since I've read 1 Month to Live. But I found it. They had it. They have 2 different. So one's 1 Month to Live. Like I think that's what they had to put in to get this book. And I think 1 Month to Live (TO). That one was like, nope, you don't have it. Sorry. It was really weird. So I actually put it in twice, and I got it. Jack Kirby's Fourth World Omnibus. This, I cannot wait to read again, and I don't know if they have the entirety of this series. I doubt they do, but, I can read it for now. I'm sure that, yes, hopefully I'll dig enough of Fourth World Omnibus, but it's also Silver Age, so Silver/Bronze Age. So older books, older comics, so I'll probably be like, you know what? Kind of fine. Take a little break from it. Maybe later down the line I'll get lucky, and I don't know. But yeah, this is the older printings of the omnibus. It's not the new printing, which is kind of a good thing, because I already have an omnibus to read this month. And that's what I was trying to get to. That's what I was referring to when I was trying to get to. That was what I was referring to when I was saying, oh, the last book it's omnibus. The Witches of World War II is the last reread, and this is a reread to redeem because Paul Cornell is, again, because of how much I loved one book he's because of how much I loved one book that Paul Cornell has written, I always have high hopes for him. Same as Jim Zub. And that series was, I can't think of what it was, the Paul Cornell series. I Walk with Monsters. It was by Vault Comics. And isn't this also just TKO? Never mind. And honestly, side note, this is the way, if you're gonna charge $19.99 for what seems to be a standard-sized graphic novel, make it a little taller. And standard size in the sense of, standard size in the sense of, I guess it's like 6 issues, and it's however many pages that would be for your standard size, that's 6 issues, so that's my measurement, like standard size as in thickness. Yeah, it's the way to go. Make it a little bit taller. Make it an oversized trade paperback. Man's Best by Pornzak Bachodi. This one was just in the library would have, and I even when I put it in, I was like, so this is the old interlibrary loan system, the one I don't like as much, the one I have to actually email the librarian and say, hey, can you renew this book for me? And another thing I hate about them is that sometimes they'll just say, like, nope, we don't have this book. It looked like we did, but we don't. There's actually one by Patrick Kinlan, It shows this library has it. They are interloaning. They are an interloan library, and they still say no. And it's really weird. And no, it's not because it's a new release. I put this in several times throughout the past like 2 years or whatever, and I just will not go in. It's so annoying. But anyways, Man's Best, Bojack Pachodi. Can't wait to read this series. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Black, White, and Green. Part of the reason why I got this is because I like these black, white, and red comics from Marvel Comics. And hey, TMNT is doing the same thing, and I like TMNT. Hoping that it was like the Mirage series, like they do some homages. I know every story in here is not going to be like that, but it'd be nice if we had some homages to the Mirage comics, because the Mirage comics of TMNT is very different than what we have nowadays. And honestly, I prefer the Mirage. For the most part, I prefer the Mirage series. I don't think nowadays it should be the same, but I think we should get, like, I mean, we actually are getting The Last Ronin, so we'll get my wish. A more mature rated TMNT movie. There's someone I know who her son is big into TMNT, and when The Last Ronin comes out, and that could come out, the kid's still young, but when it does come out, I kind of want to say, hey, there's a new TMNT movie, your kid's seen it yet? And not say anything until she does more research on it, and then, it's gonna be a funny joke. Obviously, I'm not gonna have the kid go and see an R-rated movie anyways, but it's kind of funny. Like a little harmless prank, if you will. Alright. The Human Target by Tom King. I do own this on a Kindle, but I knew I was not going to get around to reading it, and the library had it, so let's just do that. Screw it. Now, am I going to get the second volume right after I read this? Probably. Well, so Interloan Library has volume 2. But what I'm going to try and do is return this and then get volume 2. So maybe I'll put that in now, and I don't know. But this one is already one that I'm not going to read right away, because it's not it's one I can renew manually. The ones I can't renew myself, again, this is from the better Interloan Library system, so I can wait on this one. But the first one, when it's actually called Interloan Library, I can't, because again, it's come on, brain. Because again, it's... Oh, I had to email them to renew it. And I feel like I should that should be my top priority. Not necessarily, oh, the rereads first, and then, nope. It's going to be the ones that are from the first Interloan Library system. That does mean I have to read Jack Kirby before I get to, like, something like this, DC Legacies. This is written by Len Wein. And Len Wein is a big name in comics. And he writes this technically modern series for DC Comics. And it's also one I noticed here, there's a bunch of artists. So it must be like every issue has 2 artists, or a few artists, something like that. I mean, a few, quote-unquote, there's a lot of artists for 10 issues. But this one looks kind of interesting. I like when DC Comics does this. Back in the 40s to modern day kind of retelling of the DC Universe. So there's a history of the DC Universe as told by its greatest creators. Len Wein created Wolverine, for those of you who don't know. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, I know he did. So that's kind of funny. Like, he is most known for, like, you know, the classic era of comics, and he comes out with this series. So I think it was like probably 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, but based off the artwork, you know. It's definitely not a modern day book. It's definitely not like the last 2 years kind of book. Anyways. Batman Battle for the Cowl and Batman Battle for the Cowl Companion. And I think there was a complete collection that I hope is just these two put into one, because I want to read all of Batman the Cowl. So the Batman Battle for the Cowl, the non-companion series, is written by Tony S. Daniel. Just one writer here. Oh, sorry, and Fabian Nicieza, because they also collect the Gotham Gazette one-shots. Then Batman Battle for the Cowl Companion is written by Royal McGraw. So you already got one that obviously is not done anything for Image, unless I find out he did. Joe Harris, David Hine, he has done stuff for Image. Chris Yost, and Fabian Nicieza. David Hine, I just need to get around to getting his work, because it's not that much. I think it's in like 5 series at most, so 2 volumes each at the most. So 10 trades I had to get. That's 10 trades. And it's like last month I got 12. So that's most of a comic haul. That's not my birthday or Christmas. So, you know. So yeah, Camel, mentioned there. Okay, moving on. Godzilla King of the Monsters, Volume 1 by Eric Powell. Now this one I could not tell if this is an OGN or not. I just assume because this is more than one volume series that it does go by chapter. In fact, I just said number 1 here. So where's issue 2? That's pretty helpful. They do that. So sometimes they'll just so see, here it is. Okay, so I think it is a non-OGN book. So I think like 6 issues, 5 issues here, or whatever. But I kind of feel like I should have checked to see how many issues this is, because this is a Interloan Library book. Let me guess, it was 4 issues. I'm definitely adding this one next. Can't tell. Alright. Eric Powell, Godzilla. Had to get it. Not a big fan of Godzilla. I have not even watched any of the movies. So, why I got that? Well, I got that. Well, I think the comics are really good. Like, I actually really liked the, he did a lot of Deadpool. He's known for doing Deadpool. For writing Deadpool. It's not Vivian It's not Jerry Duggan. It's one of the lesser known names, somewhat. I don't know. But he did a Godzilla series I really liked. I just can't think of his name right now. Arkham Manor. Written by Jerry Duggan. This one I didn't even know existed. Like, I couldn't even tell you, oh, was this early 2000s? When was this released? So until I open this book up, I cannot tell. Because this is definitely, because of the way that the trade is not fashioned, but the uniform look to this trade, I can tell this was after New 52, but before DC Rebirth. So that DC Convergence kind of, whatever. I don't even know if Arkham Manor has more than 1 volume. Ruse Enter the Detective. Finally got volume 1. Last time I checked this book out, I didn't realize, because it didn't say volume 2, so I thought it was just a mini-series. Oopsie, it's volume 2. So, finally get to read the series from the beginning, the actual beginning. Can't wait to read this. This is written by Mark Waid, and Mark Waid is more known for doing DC work, so whenever he does something for an indie publisher, it is always piques my interest more than it would if it was anyone else. But this is Cross-Gen Comics, which I think is a Marvel imprint. I think it always was a Marvel imprint. I know that their stuff is being printed by Marvel, but they have a Cross-Gen Omnibus that is published by Marvel. I don't know if it was always that case. Always the case, I mean. The other Saladin Ahmed book, and this is one that I think I referred to. This one is one that I put in that was, I filtered it by release date, and it was on order, so I had to wait a little bit, but finally got this one. This is Wolverine, Volume 1 by Saladin Ahmed. Kanto Volume 2. This was surprisingly popular at my local library, so I had to wait a little bit for Volume 2. And I think Volume 1, too, I had to wait a little bit for. But Volume 2 of Kanto, this is written by David M. Booher, who is a writer that I have not read enough of his stuff. I've read Rain, and then this, and then I think that's it. So, excited to read this series, because I really liked Volume 1. And hopefully it's not that long until I get to read Volume 3. You know, it's like consecutive, like Volume 3 and Volume 4 and Volume 5, so I can finish that series once and for all. So it looks like my local library has the entire series of Kanto. And even then, it took them a while to get anything beyond Volume 1. So, that's why Volume 1 started out as a reread. And a reread to refresh. Wolverine, Enemy of the State. I hope this is all of Enemy of the State, because they have a complete collection. I swear they have a complete collection that's like over 300 pages. This is definitely not it. So I hope it's not a Batman Hush situation, where there's 2 volumes for Enemy of the State, because all they have is this. I could be wrong, though. But time will tell. Read by Mark Millar, by the way. And Mark Millar, so I liked his Old Man Logan, which is what comes after this, because I think there's just 2 volumes in his. Yeah, it has to be more, because the omnibus is pretty thick. I don't know. But anyways, it's not super thick. It's like one of the smaller omnibuses, but it's like in the middle. I think it's like what 500 pages, 600 pages when I could tell just by looking at it. But anyways, Enemy of the State, Wolverine, Mark Millar. I did read issue 1 thanks to the Marvel True Believers, which they gotta bring that back. So there's $1 reprints of older to newer books. Like they did one for a series as new as the second Miles Morales series, the one that was by Brian Michael Bendis, the 2015 series. That was as recent as they've done it. But then they have older books like Wolverine, Enemy of the State. They was like Fantastic Four, or by example, they didn't do that for the most recent Fantastic Four. But if they had like a Thor, they had the villain. Oh, here's the first appearance of Hela from the comics. They do that too. They do themes. When Moon Knight was coming out, they gave you the first appearance of Moon Knight as a reprint. Triple D was $1 reprint, and the hope that it's like, oh, you read Enemy of the State and you really like it. Oh, get the trade. You didn't really like Moon Knight. Okay, well this is a different kind of Moon Knight, so maybe check out this Moon Knight. Look like this Moon Knight. Could read that. So there have been times where I've saved money for myself because I wasn't a huge fan of what I read. But then there are other times like Runaways. It was actually a free issue thanks to Halloween Fest. I don't know why they did that for Halloween, but it was Runaways, free comic book day for Halloween, and dug that so much I got all the trades, or the first 2 trades at least. Library has the next 3. Next 2, I mean. Lucifer by Mike Carey. Lucifer by Mike Carey. The omnibus. This is a thick one. You know what? We're gonna end the video now because that's all I need to mention about it. I did actually. So one thing I do want to mention is that I don't know if they have volume 2 of the omnibus. Almost want to say they do, so I can read all of Lucifer in one sitting. Now I don't know why I thought this, but I think there is actually a volume 3. I could be wrong. I know there's 2 Sandman Universe spin-off books. One of them was 3 volumes, and one of them was only 2, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but whatever the case is, hopefully I get to finish up Lucifer once and for all. I read the first trade paperback that was 10 issues, and I don't know if I finished it. I want to say I did, but I dug it. It was a good good Sandman spin-off. It was good from the beginning, and it wasn't one of those oh, I like part of the issues. No, it was like, this is what I like about this. I want from Sandman, and it was Mike Carey. So I guess Mike Carey should write Sandman. I don't know, but that's what I was saying back then, because it's been a while since I've read Lucifer. Some of these rereads are not just every 6 months; they're like years, and years, just years in general. And Lucifer, I think they only had the first 2 or 3 trade paperbacks. I was like, oh, well, I can't keep reading. I don't know why I stopped reading Lucifer, honestly, but I did, and now I'm back on it. That, as they say, is that.